Hi, I'm Chelsea Robinson and my presentation today is on autism. So first I'm going to start with what is autism? Autism falls under the umbrella of autism spectrum disorder. It's commonly abbreviated to ASD. This umbrella has been formed due to the range of symptoms and severity in relation to autism. Autism is a disorder which affects brain development, resulting in the individual having difficulties with behaviour, social interaction and communication. Autism is split into levels as the symptoms and severity varies. Level 1. People with level 1 autism have noticeable issues with communication skills and socialising with others. They can usually have a conversation, but it might be difficult to maintain it. They also may have trouble connecting with others and making friends. Level 2. Individuals with autism require substantial support. The symptoms associated with this level include a more severe lack of both verbal and non-verbal communication skills. This often makes daily activities difficult. Level 3 is the most severe level of autism. It requires a considerable amount of support. The individual's communication skills have decreased significantly and display repetitive or restrictive behaviours. In this level, the student will usually have an EA working with them or a carer. I'm going to explain a couple of practices to help you teach children with autism, starting with the reward system. A reward system is a predetermined systematic approach that gives students a reward to work towards. It works by giving a plan to a student which explains what the reward will be and what needs to be done to receive the reward. This may be a short-term goal, such as a task or activity, and then they receive the reward, or a long-term goal, such as attending school every day of the term. It must be clearly set out, easy to interpret, and all the information outlined on the reward chart to avoid any communication. It needs to be written down so the student can refer to this at any time. Types of rewards. Rewards would be suited to the student's interests. If the student was interested in technology, they may get 10 minutes of technology free time after they have completed their task. On a more long-term goal, they may be working towards a trip somewhere that they like, such as the zoo. Sensory breaks. Students with autism can become overstimulated by everything going on in the classroom, such as bright lights, noise levels, overcrowding, or highly decorated rooms. Some students with sensory issues get a sensory overload, and it becomes too much of them, producing anxiety and distress or behavioural change. A sensory break is a time out for these children to calm down and reset. Where can these breaks be taken? A chill-out room, a Zen den, a free classroom, or even outside. A sensory break can be taken anywhere away from the hustle and bustle of the classroom, where the student can unwind and dull their senses. Work modification is the last strategy that I'm going to speak about. The work a teacher has organised for the class may not suit the autistic child. The child may become disengaged, show disruptive behaviour, or become anxious and distressed. Modifying their work will help them feel comfortable, resulting in more inclusivity in the class. Examples. You could let the student choose the topic that they want to work on. You could give them options on how they could present it. If they're not very good verbally, they could do something written or vice versa. They could use a scribe for testing or long periods of writing if writing is one of their downfalls. Communication. Students with autism face challenges when communicating. This includes processing the intake of information, verbal or representational output, and reading and writing. A couple of things that you could do to communicate with your student. Ensure you have the student's face-to-face attention before communicating. Avoid complex instructions, too many steps, or complex wording. Don't be indirect. Avoid negative instructions such as the words as don't and stop. Allow wait time. Don't automatically think that your student hasn't heard. They may be just processing the information. Communication tips. Use visual cues. Use verbal information and visual clues collaboratively. Social rules are rules that are modified to ensure students with special needs, such as sensory challenges, can work comfortably in the class. Here's some examples. They may want to have their own desk in a certain place in the classroom rather than sharing a two-seater desk. They could use fidget spinners when they're feeling anxious. The student can leave the classroom to the allocated sensory break room. The student may also want to wear earphones to help block out the noise. Here's some resources that I have supplied for you. Just click on the link and have a look. Thanks for listening.